You know how some games just throw you right into the deep end? It can feel like total chaos, right? But sometimes, that chaos is actually a masterclass in storytelling. And that is exactly what's happening in the opening of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So, we're going to break down how this one single boss fight perfectly sets up the entire game in just a few explosive minutes.
It all kicks off with this one line. It's not some big villain monologue, it's not a monstrous roar, it's a plea. Leave me alone. Right off the bat, the game is telling us that the giant sand monster, who's, destroying New York City, he doesn't even want to be there. This immediately frames Sandman as something more than just a monster. He's a tragic, reluctant figure, and we know that from his very first words.
And believe me, the story does not waste any time. 1 minute, it's a completely normal day. Peter Parker is late for his teaching job, and Miles Morales is just trying to juggle high school with his other life. The next, an old enemy is back, and their ordinary lives are completely shattered. The city just flips from peace to absolute chaos in an instant.
So, now we're into the first phase of this whole thing, trying to stop a literally unstoppable force. And Peter's reaction here is so key. He says they have to help him. You hear that? Right away, the goal isn't just to punch a bad guy. It's to save someone who's in the middle of tearing the city apart.
And that really frames the problem perfectly, doesn't it? How do you fight an enemy who is the city? I mean, you can't just punch Sandman into submission. He is a walking, talking, natural disaster. And our heroes are just completely overwhelmed by the sheer scale of it all.
So, their first reaction isn't some brilliant, super coordinated attack. Nope, it's pure, desperate improvisation. This little exchange between Peter and Miles is just gold. It shows they are completely out of their depth, just trying to keep their heads above water. And it injects that classic Spider-Man humor right into the middle of a terrifying situation. But here's the thing. Sandman isn't just a static problem. He's an evolving one. As the fight goes on, he gets stronger, creating these smaller sand clones, these mini Marcos, to swarm the heroes, while his main body just keeps getting bigger. The problem isn't just that he's big, it's that he's getting bigger every single second.
This escalation, it's the perfect way to show the core tension of being Spider-Man. See, it's never just about fighting the monster. As the physical threat is growing, the conflict between their superhero duties and their very real personal lives is about to boil over. They are literally fighting on two fronts.
And right in the middle of a city-ending crisis, reality calls. Peter gets this furious message from his principal basically threatening to fire him, while Miles is panicking about getting expelled for ditching his classmates. These are so much more than just funny little interruptions. They ground this insane spectacle and remind us of the huge personal stakes for both of our heroes.
All this pressure, it forces them to finally shift from just reacting to actually having a strategy. They remember a key weakness: Sandman hates water. And just like that, their first real plan is born. Step 1, get him wet. Step 2, hit him with Miles's bioelectricity. It's simple, yeah, but it's a start. And for the first time, they're working like a real coordinated team.
Of course, it's not that simple. They land a solid hit, but it barely even phases him. And Peter's line here says it all. Their first real strategy, it just wasn't enough. They've got to turn it up a notch, and they have to do it fast, because this fight is about to get so much worse.
And this brings us to the desperate measures phase. Miles' frantic call to Peter, "This is getting out of hand," it says everything. Their first plan failed, the pressure is only getting worse, and now they're forced to think about some much, much riskier solutions.
And get this. Worse than just failing, their next idea actually makes the situation worse. Peter tries to use a construction crane to douse him, but he totally miscalculates. The result? Sandman just sucks up even more sand from a nearby pier and grows to a truly colossal size. Their plan backfired in the most spectacular way you can imagine.
So, they need a new plan, and it has to be big. How big? We're talking 10,000 gallons. That's the size of the water tank sitting on top of a nearby skyscraper. It's their last shot. A complete all-or-nothing gamble to stop him for good.
And this is where Miles truly steps up. With this one line, the whole strategy shifts. The brute force, the improvisation, that's all over. It's time for science. Miles, the physics whiz, is taking the lead now.
So what's the plan? Well, it's all about physics, specifically surface tension. Miles figures out that a powerful enough electrical shock can fundamentally change the properties of the sand, making him vulnerable. This isn't just about zapping a bad guy, it's about using science to literally pull him apart.
And here it is, the final plan. It is high risk, high reward, and it needs perfect teamwork. First, Miles absorbs the raw power of a lightning storm. Second, Peter plays bait, luring the colossal Sandman into the perfect spot. And finally, Miles unleashes everything in one massive, directed blast. It's an epic conclusion that relies on everything they've learned throughout this crazy fight.
And it works. The plan works. The battle is won, but the story isn't over. As the dust settles, the real purpose of this entire opening sequence becomes crystal clear. It all comes back to Sandman's personal tragedy.
I mean, the contrast in their motivations is just so clear. The Spidermen, they fight because they made a promise to protect the city. But Sandman's rampage, it comes from pure desperation. As a normal man, Flint Marko, he was invisible. As a giant sand monster, well, he's impossible to ignore. And that's the heartbreaking human story behind all this destruction.
And this right here is his tragic justification. In his mind, he was trapped. He felt like he had no other choice but to become this destructive force. And it makes him so much more compelling than just a simple villain. And it adds this real layer of moral complexity to the hero's victory.
So, the fight's over, the villain is subdued. But right at the very end, the story delivers one last crucial piece of information. This wasn't an ending. This was just the beginning.
With his final words, a defeated Sandman delivers this powerful, super ominous warning. And just like that, he's not the biggest threat anymore. He's just the first. This one line completely reframes their victory, turning it into a chilling premonition of something far, far worse to come.
And so we're left with this question, just hanging over everything. The fight is over, but the real mystery is just beginning. And that is how a chaotic opening battle becomes a brilliant narrative hook, perfectly setting the stage for the entire game and leaving you, the player, with one simple, terrifying question. Who is coming for us?